Hey guys, what's up? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? And what I'm doing is giving you guys my thoughts about Apple's most recent event. And I got a lot of things to say. Let's first start off with, I guess, the basic parts that they've announced, or just the minor details that are going to be coming. So HBO is coming to the Apple TV. And if you guys haven't checked out my recap video yet, go ahead and check that out. I explained all the details right there. And so another program to look forward to if you have the Apple TV. In addition, that price got dropped to $69 and it's going to be really affordable. I believe it's about the same price as the Google Chromecast. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure about that. I haven't paid attention to the Google Chromecast much. From my understanding, it serves the same purpose except you're using your smartphone to make all the functionalities and apply all the controls. That's to get from here to there, and then whatever the case may be, play back a video, no problems with it. Alright, and let's talk about the new MacBook that Apple announced. So that MacBook it looks very nice as usual. And what I've noticed, if you guys have saw the pictures, they put the MacBook logo right there on the bottom. If you guys didn't know, they did away with that on the MacBook Pro Retina, except the MacBook Air. And all the other MacBooks always had that logo or the wording right there. MacBook, MacBook Pro, MacBook Air. That was just a minor detail that I noticed. It was just a thing I saw. One thing that I'm concerned about is how much these they're going to be able to sell, because I did read an article, I forgot where I read it from, but they have this new USB standard called USB-C, and it's not the traditional USB that you all know with USB 3.0, 2.0, 1.1. It's basically a USB port that's supposed to act like everything. I believe that's how it is on every device with USB-C. Not sure if, unless this is just something Apple implemented. It's supposed to act as all VGA, HDMI, display port, as well as power. That's what it is. I forgot if this also included DVI. I forgot about that. But Apple did mention that for USB-C. So that's the only port that's on the new MacBook. In addition, that acts as a charging port. So Apple is really trying to make this thing smaller, and by eliminating the ports, they have to do that too. I'm not sure if that was a good idea, because everybody wants easy access to their peripherals by connecting to them directly with a wired connection. And the fact that with this new USB-C standard, it'll support all of them, but if you want to actually use it, you have to buy all the adapters. And Apple is still expecting everyone to be using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to connect all the peripherals. Me personally, we are way far away from that. There is no way we can immediately convert into wireless technology just like that, because wired connection is still reliable no matter how long the cable is, and wireless, no matter how good your wireless range is, tends to disconnect certain times and tends to run into problems. I mean, I have problems with using my Bluetooth mouse sometimes. So I don't care what anybody says, that wireless is the actual standard and it's good to use now. We are far away from relying on wireless for everything. So if you have a wired connection, do not worry about it. Keep using it because it's reliable until something dramatic happens where we can rely on wireless at all times to get rid of all the cables. Then we're ready for that. But right now, we're not. So that's pretty much my thoughts about the MacBook, and this is actually a 12-inch model. So really, all they did was included another model, the MacBook, that's just in between the 11 and the 13-inch range, because there's the 13-inch MacBook Air and the 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina. And I believe they're still selling the older style one, the one with the optical drive, and I believe that's only 13 inches, but it's a little low spec than that one. But that one, you can customize it, do whatever you want, so that's pretty much it. Alright, so that's it for the MacBook. Now I want to talk about the Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch, Apple provided more details about it. They announced it back in October, and I upgraded my iPhone 5 to iOS 8.2, and I have the Apple Watch app. And I can actually use this app to start pairing it and all I have to do is hold it up in the interface using the camera right here. And my question is, why would they provide this app right now when the watch isn't even coming out till April 10th? Or, jeez, I forget my release dates now. I believe it was April 10th or April 24th. No, I believe it was April 24th, because April 10th, I believe, was the pre-orders and the in-store view. Maybe this was because for developers to start writing apps or to keep testing it out. That's probably why they pushed the update out already in iOS 8.2. But right now, the app is pretty much useless except watching videos on the Apple Watch, Apple discussing about it, you know, giving a tour about it. That's pretty much all the app can do right now. You can even access the App Store right now because Apple Watch hasn't been released yet, so therefore you can't access any of it yet. And if you guys have seen my past videos before, you'll know how I feel about the Apple Watch or smartwatches in general. I feel like they can't serve a purpose yet on their own because they're made to work with your smartphone for quick access on notifications, just to do certain tasks quickly without having to pull your phone out of your pocket in order to view what you're doing. And I feel like this category of technology doesn't really have value, at least for me, in my opinion, because first of all, you need a smartphone in order to operate it. Plus, depending on which brand of smartwatch that you get, you can only use it with a certain device. For instance, Samsung, you can only use it with their devices. Apple Watch, you can only use it with the iPhone. You can't even use it with the iPod Touch or the iPad. And you guys are probably like, well, what's the reasoning for that? If the Apple Watch, you can answer calls while your phone's in your pocket. Well, I would say if your iPod Touch or the iPad, you're connected on Wi-Fi and you have Skype on it, maybe you can take Skype calls on your Apple Watch or with any other app that you use. I don't know. So really, I still feel the same with the smartwatches, including the Apple Watch. No matter how nice it looks, really slick looking, and plus the $349 price point, it's okay, but I feel like that could have been gone down a little bit more. It just depends on what material Apple is using, and anybody can fight over that. The material Apple is using, they could have gotten it for a discounted price, they're overpricing it, or no, Apple is using this actual quality material. So it really depends. I'll tell you one thing. Besides all that, one thing that really, trying not to rage here, one thing that really got me thinking a little bit and kind of got a little frustrated, believe it or not, was the fact that the highest end model of the Apple Watch, they call it the Apple Watch Edition, starts out at $10,000, and some of them cost $12,000 or $15,000, and the highest one would be $17,000. And there are two models that cost $17,000. Now, why am I frustrated by this? You can see why. Because the price point. Not everyone is gonna buy this. I don't even know who would even buy a smartwatch at this high price. And I'm like, why would Apple do this? And it looks like, I was trying to find out how much the 18 karat gold actually costs to use, and it depends on how many ounces you use. I couldn't find out how many Apple used, and it can cost a lot of money, but so far what I've seen wasn't really near like $10,000, unless if I'm not looking in the right place. But either way, whether it's the right price for 18 karat gold or not, I feel like Apple is kind of getting ahead of themselves, and they're trying to turn one of their product lines, one of the products they have sitting in their product line, into a gem. And what I mean by that is they're making the Apple Watch seem like it's a piece of jewelry, an expensive jewelry that you will want to get for your spouse or just as a collectible, as a valuable. But if you're buying a smartwatch as a collectible, I would think that you wouldn't want to use it, right? Because you want it to be rare, you want it to be valuable. And if you were to sell it and it has a lot more value, you can sell it at a high price because you kept it in good condition. So really, for something that you're going to use all the time, every day, 24/7, should not be priced at $10,000. And I feel like Apple should have focused more on the watch itself and how to improve the software or learn a lot from the software they integrated into the Apple Watch, and just focus on that first. Don't announce something revolutionary to your company and then try to turn it into a fashion item or a jewelry item. I don't understand why Apple did this in the first place. Me personally, there is no reason why it should be cost $10,000 and then you're gonna up the price even more, depending on which material people want to get, to $17,000. Guys, I can tell you this: this is not a good comparison, because obviously you gotta pay more for this. But I'm talking about the price of a brand new Chevy Cruze by itself, without including insurance or registration. For $17,000, I would take that money and put it into that car if I really needed a car right away. That probably wouldn't be my first choice, but if I had to buy a car right away and I need it now, that's probably the car that I would get. And then if I can negotiate for a price drop, I'll do that. That's even better. And believe it or not, that's actually a little bit cheaper. Well, not that much cheaper, maybe a grand cheaper than the Apple Watch, running at the $17,000 price point. So really, I'm just not too crazy about the fact that Apple would create a product that costs $17,000, and they're doing this on a product that people would actually use for what, fitness, and they talk about health as well, music, answering phone calls, emails, and all this is being done with the Apple Watch paired to your iPhone. And I wonder how many of these can Apple actually sell, because for me personally, for people who actually pays this much money for a smartwatch, it gets me wondering, what do they want out of this thing? If they're paying for something this high, do they want to buy it and then just put it on a shelf, don't even open it, and then give it to somebody later? Or if they're just buying this to put it at a show that they host or something, I don't know. Me personally, I feel like Apple is doing this out of nowhere, and they're just, I'm trying to describe it properly. I do apologize if I am, delaying on the words that are coming out of me, but the thing is, that's because I'm just kind of getting frustrated on why Apple would do something like this. Why? I have no idea. And to me, when you're making technology products, yeah, you can make them fashionable and make it so that it matches people based on their personality, because they'll buy certain cases to decorate their phone or to protect it, just to make it their style, and they'll get it in this certain style that they like or think it looks good. But to buy a very expensive smartwatch like this, I don't see it. I'm sorry, Apple, but me personally, you guys went overboard on this. So that's my opinion about the extra details that Apple has announced. Do you think that Apple could even keep this up? Do you think that they can even still keep these up on their Apple Store website and still wait for people to buy them? And if people will actually buy them, I just wonder, like, why? And not to be rude to anybody out there, but that's just how I feel about buying a $10,000 or a $17,000 smartwatch, which is even worse. So I'd like to see what you guys think in the comments below. And do you agree with me on this, on anything I've said, even including the MacBook? But what I was most targeted for in this video was the Apple Watch with the very high expensive price point. Me personally, there's no reason for it. I don't care if you want to make your product, fashionable and very valuable. You don't charge something for that much for something very small, unless if you're talking about something like a Rolex or I don't know, whatever the case may be. Me personally, the smartwatch hasn't even stepped into this kind of category yet in terms of you know, certain specialty items. So anyway, I'd like to see what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and make sure you guys check out my social media, and links are in the description below. Subscribe, rate, comment, and that's it.